The Complete Diary of Inquisitor Valerius. Entry 1. Personal Log. The Burden of Judgment. Stardate 714-2.738.m41. The weight of this command is not the power it wields, but the silence that follows its use. I have just consigned Hive World Leafy Prime to exterminate us. The data slate containing the cyclonic torpedo launch order still feels warm. Or perhaps that is just my imagination projecting the hellfire now scouring its surface. The calculations were irrefutable. The Genestealer cult had infiltrated the planetary government, the PDF command, and the ecclesiarchy mission itself. To send in guard regiments would have been to feed them more biomass. The tiniest spark of that Xenos filth could not be allowed to escape. The Logis Magos estimated a 12% untainted population, over 800 million souls. Their deaths are a weight upon my shoulders I will bear until the Emperor grants me release. But the alternative was the loss of the entire subsector. A 12% casualty rate is a victory, a statistical miracle. I must remember this. Faith is my shield, but cold, hard logic is the sword that wins wars. Entry 2. Personal Log. The Problem of Zeal. Stardate 714-2.741.m41. I have ordered my interrogator, the young firebrand Theron, placed in a cell. His potential is extraordinary, his zeal unquestionable. But zeal without control is a plasma gun with a cracked casing. During the cleansing of a rogue trader vessel, he didn't merely purge the mutants, he indulged. He used a power morph for hours after the fighting was done. He claims he was purging the ship's memory of Tate. I call it rage. A delicious, righteous rage, but one that must be directed, not unleashed. He does not understand that we are not butchers. We are surgeons. We cut away the cancer to save the body. I will break him of this, or I will break him. There is no third option. Entry 3. Personal Log. Reflections. Stardate 714-2.742.m41. I dreamt of the scholar again, of the cold stone floors and the constant drilling catechisms. My master found me not for my strength, but for my question. He taught me that the enemy within is often more dangerous than the enemy without. The heretic's betrayal is personal, and it is a poison in the blood of humanity itself. Sometimes, in the quiet, I can feel the immensity of the task. A million worlds, a billion potential heresies in every shadow. My faith is the foundation, but it is will that builds the fortress upon it. I am tired. Entry 4. Designation, Conclave Debriefing. Inquisitorial Cross-Examination, Stardate 714.2.742.m41. I have just endured a 3-hour debriefing with Inquisitor Crassus of the Ordo Malleus. The meeting was framed as a routine exchange of intelligence. It was anything but. Crassus is a hammer. Yet today, his questions were needles. He asked about Leafy Prime, not the strategic justification, but the aftermath.
And how does the servant of the God Emperor sleep after such a necessary deed, Valerius?
I gave him the answer he wanted to hear. The Emperor's peace is my comfort, brother. A lie. I sleep fitfully, if at all. Then, the truth rest.
Does it not concern you that pursuing this Xeno signal alone mirrors a certain isolationist tendency, a pridefulness?
My blood ran cold. He was diagnosing me for the same spiritual corruption I hunt. I met his gaze, my voice ironclad, a performance of utmost conviction. My faith is my shield, Crassus. It has never been stronger. He nodded, seemingly satisfied. But I saw it, the flicker in his eyes. The hunter who knows his prey is wary. He knows nothing, and yet he knows everything. Entry 5. Designation: Internal Security. Theta. Enacted Stardate 714-2.743.M4. I have initiated Protocol Theta. The security of my own ship can no longer be assumed. I reviewed the sensor logs. A passive psionic scan was detected from his vessel. He was probing me. It was an assessment. My own interrogator, Theron, watches me now with a new intensity. Does he sense my unease? Or has Crassus already reached out to him? The thought is heresy, but it is a necessary heresy. This diary may no longer be secure. I will encrypt it with a cipher known only to me. If I am to fall, it will not be because my own doubts were laid bare. Entry 6. Designation: Xenos Hybrid Threat. Wheels. Operation Crimson Purge. Stardate 714-2.743.M41. The stench of Xenos is still thick in my nostrils. I have just shared a Masek with an Eldar Corsair to ensure the destruction of a common foe, a nascent Chaos Warband fleet. I offered them safe passage through Imperial space for a single solar week. The deal is struck. Their sleek, wretched vessel has already vanished into the webway. My bodyguard, Sister Annika, has not spoken to me since. Her silence is a louder accusation than any shouting match. I have unleashed a lesser predator to hunt a greater one. This is the sin I must commit for the salvation of the sector. There will be no confession for this, no forgiveness. This deed is a stain upon my soul that I must hope is outweighed by the millions of lives it might save. The path of duty is paved with such damnable choices. The Emperor will judge me, and I can only pray my intent is not lost to the horror of the act. Entry 7. Designation: Administratum. Blockade. Request denied. Stardate 714-274-M41. Location: Orbit around Forge World, Metallica. The fools. The damned short-sighted quill-pushing fools. My request for a company of Tempestus scions to investigate the Ghoul Stars anomaly has been denied. Denied. The reason? Former 998/B section was not filed in triplicate. 1,000,000 worlds, and the Imperium is strangled by the paperwork of 1,000,000 more. I have exterminatus authority, but I cannot requisition a single squad without the proper documentation. It is a blessing in disguise. It forces my hand to use my own assets. The rogue trader Silas, the few men and women loyal only to me, the resources not logged in any official ledger. It is cleaner this way. Safer from prying eyes. Entry 8. Designation: Field Report. Operation Cinder's Truth. Stardate 714-2.745.M4. To prove my orthodoxy to the watching eyes, I must be seen to be relentless. I diverted to the agri-world of Viridian II. A petty cult of chaos undivided had taken root. There was no subtlety, no investigation. I unleashed Theron. I let him burn and purge with all the fury I had previously sought to temper. I authorized the use of Phosphex bombs, a weapon of absolute annihilation. The planetary governor was executed for incompetence. A necessary message. The operation was a resounding success. My report to the conclave will be a masterpiece of zealous triumph. And it feels like ash in my mouth. This is what Crassus wants to see, so I will give it to him. The hypocrisy is a shield. I will wear it until it becomes my skin. Entry 9. Designation: Redacted B. Source: Omega 7. Stardate: TT. The signal is confirmed. It is not tyranid. It is not chaotic. It matches no known Xenos linguistic pattern. And yet, it is structured, intelligent. I have shared this with no one. There are too many factions, too many agendas. This is a burden I must carry alone. This could be the threat that defines my legacy, or it could be the thing that ends it. I go now into the silent dark. May the Emperor guide my aim. It is not a star, it is an eye, and it is opening. Ave Imperator. Final entry. Designation. Final entry. Log. Designation. Omniseer have mercy. Stardate. Temporal reference corrupt. Location. Geospatial data absent. The signal was a siren song, a geometry of sound that promised answers to questions we have not yet learned to ask. My ship, the Adamant Resolve, hangs in the void before it. The source is not a spatial phenomenon. It is a wound, a bruise in the starfield, pulsing with colors that have no name. All attempts at scanning return paradox. The Logismagos is catatonic, his mind shattered by the data stream. It is not a message, it is the medium itself. It is reality recoding itself into a shape that should not be. Theron is at my side, zeal now lost, replaced by a primal fear. He begged me to turn back, and I almost struck him. This is why I am the Inquisitor. To stare into the abyss and force it to give up its secrets. I extended my psychic awareness, a feather-like touch, just to taste the edge of the anomaly. It perceived me. It was not like the touch of the warp. This was not a daemon's clawing hunger or a god's malevolent gaze. This was an understanding. In a single, timeless instant, it comprehended every facet of my being. My birth, my sins at Leafy Prime, my hypocrisy with Crassus, my pact with the Xenos. It saw the shape of my life not as a narrative, but as a single, fixed equation. A trivial pattern in an infinite set. And I felt its attention. Not hostility, not curiosity, the way a man might idly note a grain of sand. My mind is emitting. The catechisms of the Schola Progenium are unwriting themselves. The face of my first master is gone from my memory. I can feel the concepts of faith and logic dissolving like sugar in water. They are insufficient constructs for what I have witnessed. Terron is screaming. I think he is trying to shield me. How quaint. The ship's hull is singing a lullaby in a language of angles. The eye is open. It is not looking at us.
We are simply within its field of vision. I finally understand. The Emperor does not protect. He is just another small, bright thing, screaming in the vast and hungry dark. Ave